no one noticed 2-year-old Shelly quietly slipping out the back door. She made her way to the pool, gripping the ladder as she began to climb.
My daughter comes in. Mommy, Shelly's in the pool.
Shelly, her 2-year-old, was in the pool? Melissa raced outside and found her daughter, pale and motionless on the ground.
And I'm screaming, "What happened? Somebody help. Call 911.
This is the Miracle Files. I'm Emily Jones.
And I'm Holly Worthington. We're two sisters who love a captivating true story, but we're also seeking more light in our lives.
So we're on a mission to find and share unforgettable, uplifting stories of God's miracles. We hope you'll join us on this journey.
Welcome back to the Miracle Files. We had one of our listeners actually reach out to us and share today's story with us.
Yes, Melissa Ruiz shared this story with us, and I just have to say, she is so brave because her story is traumatic and it's scary, but it's also so good.
It really is. And speaking of that, this may be triggering for somebody who has lost someone to a drowning accident. So please keep that warning in mind.
Yeah, this story is truly gut-wrenching. Mm-hmm. But the miracle is also undeniable. So buckle up.
Yeah, and maybe grab a Kleenex as well.
Yeah. Let's go. It was a muggy North Texas day in August 2022. Melissa Ruiz had worked the night shift. She never seemed to truly catch up on her sleep. But as a busy mom of 6 children, 5 of whom were still at home with her, Melissa had to keep going. Around 5 p.m, her children came to her, asking if they could go swimming in their above-ground pool. Even though she was tired, she responded with an enthusiastic yes. Melissa loved spending time in the pool with her children and decided to join them.
My oldest son was 17 at the time. I had asked him, I was like, "You're going to go swimming?" He's like, "Yes, you want me to get him ready?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, thank you."
While Melissa's son, Alex, helped the other kids get ready to go swimming, Melissa relaxed just for a minute on the couch. She hadn't intended to nap at all, but exhaustion overtook her. She blinked her heavy eyelids a few times, and then suddenly she dozed off. While Melissa slept, and her children busied themselves changing into their swimsuits, no one noticed 2-year-old Shelly quietly slipping out the back door. With tiny, determined steps, she made her way to the pool, gripping the ladder as she began to climb. Suddenly, a voice broke through Melissa's sleep. It felt far away at first. Melissa opened her eyes. What was happening? Her daughter, Alicia, had burst into the room, her face pale and eyes wide.
My daughter comes in. "Mommy, Shelly's in the pool."
The words shot through Melissa's drowsiness like a bolt of lightning, sending her thoughts flying in all directions. Shelly, her 2-year-old, was in the pool? Her fun, spunky little toddler? Her baby? Melissa jumped up from the couch. She didn't even have time to grab a cell phone before she raced outside. It's hard to fathom the sheer terror Melissa must have felt when she reached her backyard and found her son, Alex, trying to perform CPR on Shelly. Her 2-year-old lay pale and motionless on the ground. The sight of her lifeless body sent a wave of despair crashing over Melissa.
And I'm screaming, "What happened? Somebody help." I'm like, "Call 911. Where are my phones?" Like, I did not know where nothing was.
The horrifying moment was caught on Melissa's security camera. In the video, you can see a shot of Melissa's front yard. Melissa's son, Alex, is on the front porch looking for Shelly. You can't see the pool, which is in the back, but you can tell the moment Shelly was found. And we'll warn you, this recording is shocking and absolutely heartbreaking.
Shelly!
The screams were so loud that Melissa's sister, who lived next door, heard the commotion. On the security camera footage, you can see her sister running frantically to see what's going on. Other neighbors ran into the backyard. One woman yelled for someone to call 911. Then, in a panic, Melissa's sister scooped Shelly up in her arms and ran her out to the front yard.
I don't know what my sister was thinking, but I was just frantic. I was just following her to the front.
On the video footage, you can see Shelly's body lying like a limp rag doll in her aunt's arms. Melissa feared her baby was already dead. She showed no signs of life at all. Melissa's son Alex called 911. As he spoke with dispatch, Melissa's best friend, who lived across the street, pulled up and offered assistance. She rushed over, gently taking Shelly and trying to pat the water out of her lungs. Yet all Melissa could think was that everyone needed to act faster. Everything felt surreal. Sounds were muffled, and the world around her blurred as she focused solely on her daughter. Where is everybody? Where are the paramedics? She wondered. Her heart raced as the enormity of the situation threatened to engulf her.
My son was on the phone with 911, and the dispatcher wound up being my friend for years. She took the call.
Melissa's friend assured Alex that an ambulance was on the way. Amid the chaos, time felt distorted. Each second stretched painfully as Melissa begged for help. Finally, after almost 7 minutes, a fire truck arrived, and as first responders took over, Melissa watched the firefighters do CPR on Shelly. Her tiny body had turned a haunting shade of blue. Melissa felt a desperation like she'd never felt before. A few minutes later, paramedics arrived and took charge, whisking Shelly into the ambulance and asking Melissa to wait outside. Melissa stood frozen, her heart pounding, desperate to know what exactly was going on in the ambulance and hoping for a miracle. Then something amazing happened that made Melissa's heart leap. A tiny voice called out from inside the ambulance. The paramedics hurried to get Melissa.
And then when they told me to come in, she's calling you, I go in the ambulance and I told her, Mommy's right here, baby, you're gonna be okay. Then she wasn't, no communication was coming out of her. But she was breathing.
Melissa had felt a flood of relief at hearing her daughter's voice, but Shelly's moment of consciousness was gone in an instant. Shelly still lay in critical condition. Time was of the essence, but again, it seemed to stand still as the paramedics debated the best course of action. Where are they taking her? Melissa wanted to know. She silently pleaded for them to hurry and decide. Finally, they told Melissa they were going to airlift Shelly to a children's hospital and drove Shelly to a nearby high school to meet the helicopter. Following the ambulance and her friend's car, Melissa's worst fears swirled in her head. She couldn't shake the image of her daughter's lifeless body. She felt so helpless. And then she thought of the one thing she could do. Melissa believed in the power of prayer, and right now, she needed that power more than ever.
I took a picture of us behind the ambulance. That's a picture that I posted on Facebook. And I told him, I didn't tell him what happened. I just told him to please pray for baby Shelly. And then I had everybody commenting prayers.
With so many prayers for baby Shelly being sent heavenward, Melissa knew it was now in God's hands. She reached the high school parking lot. Emergency personnel hurried to transfer Shelly from the ambulance to the helicopter. But Melissa couldn't get close enough to see what was happening. Instead, she was left standing with police officers who were trying to gather information. Their questions barely registered in her mind.
I didn't know what to do but just stand there and keep crying because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I can't talk to nobody because they're way over there at the helicopter trying to get her in. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is they're going to Children's. And our deal was just to wait there, see her get on the helicopter, and we take off to Dallas.
Shelly was loaded into the helicopter, and Melissa's husband, who had been at work, was notified that she was being taken to the Children's Hospital. Melissa and her husband drove separately as quickly as they could, which turned out, once again, to be excruciatingly slow.
And it was rush hour. Downtown Dallas traffic is crazy, and Children's is on the other side of downtown Dallas. So it's like you have to literally pass through downtown, all that Dallas traffic around downtown to get towards the hospital.
Finally, Melissa and her husband were reunited at the Children's Hospital. They clung to each other for strength while trying to process the chaos of the day. The helicopter had touched down, and the medical team had rushed Shelly into the ICU. Melissa and her husband were left anxiously waiting for news. Hours passed as Melissa battled with fear and guilt, wondering if there was something more she could have done to prevent this tragedy. Meanwhile, doctors took x-rays and worked on Shelly. They were concerned about the fluid that remained in Shelly's lungs.
They said that she had pulmonary edema, where they took the x-ray and it showed all the fluid in her lungs.
Shelly was eventually sent to her hospital room, where she lay, ashen and motionless. She had gone over 10 minutes without breathing, an eternity when considering brain damage can occur in just 4. Melissa wondered if she would ever have her sweet, spunky little girl back again. Night passed, and the weight of uncertainty pressed down on Melissa. As the next day unfolded, nothing went as expected, because Shelly was expected to have little to no improvement.
They took another x-ray, and it was a lot less than what it was when they brought her in. And then when the doctor came in, when we were in the regular room, she was looking for Shelly.
But where was Shelly? The hospital bed lay empty. The doctor looked around the room, confused. And then something extraordinary happened. She noticed a child playing near the hospital room window. Surely that couldn't be the same little girl who had just drowned. And yet, it was.
And at that point, Shelly's in the window, looking out the window. In her gown, jumping on the couch, looking out the window. And I'm like, girl, sit down. Come on, sit down. You're going to give me a heart attack. We're already here. The doctor walks in and she's like, Shelly?
Melissa pointed to the child playing near the window. The doctor couldn't believe it. It defied all logic. But that's the nature of miracles, isn't it? They often defy logic.
She goes, oh, wow. I was expecting her to be laid up in the bed, just out of it. She didn't expect her to be up, jumping around and smiling ear to ear like if nothing happened. And she's like, wow, like this is a miracle because bed's here and she's over there.
Melissa couldn't believe it herself. She felt overwhelmed with gratitude and couldn't help but smile, knowing that every prayer, despite the instance of doubt and worry, had led to this triumphant moment. This is some footage of Shelly in the hospital after she woke up.
Shelly. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you more.
Amo.
Hey.
Shelly was reunited with her family just 2 days after her accident, and as they left the hospital, taking her daughter home alive and well, it still felt surreal to Melissa. Shelly's recovery has been so miraculous that Melissa is glad she took some photos at the hospital with timestamps to document everything. She feels no one would believe her otherwise.
is mind-boggling. Like, you would never think that this was her. If I didn't put dates, I think anybody would be like, oh no, that's not the day after. You're lying. And I would have to pull it up on my phone and be like, look, this is the timestamps of everything and where would, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think anybody would believe that those pictures were right after each other. Like, they wouldn't believe it. I don't believe it. But she left the hospital like nothing happened.
Shelly's miracle story is beautiful, but there is something more we haven't shared that makes this story even more incredible. You may have wondered how the kids first found Shelly in the pool. Well, it was her 12-year-old brother Adonai who actually found her. He was questioned later by the police, and we'll play the footage. Bear in mind, you'll notice he's kind of yelling because this was right after the drowning, and this had been a very traumatic experience for him. But pay attention to what he says to the police officer. Here's the exchange.
No, you're not in trouble. Take a breather.
You're not in trouble. Calm down.
Take a breather.
We gotta know what happened so we can help her, okay? Hey, what's your name?
Adonai.
What's your name, buddy?
Adonai.
Okay, so look, hey, you're not in trouble. We just gotta know what happened. Hey, look at me. We just gotta know what happened so we can help her, okay? Did you see what happened?
No, I had a feeling that when I was putting on my little brother's floaty that she was in the pool without any floating. So then I went in there and then I saw her drowning.
Okay, so was she by herself?
Yes.
How long was she by herself?
I don't know, probably like a minute or so.
A minute or two?
Yes.
Okay, all right, buddy. All right, hey, you're not in trouble, all right? All right.
If you didn't catch that, when the police officer asked Adonai if he saw what happened, Adonai responded that he'd been putting a swimsuit on his little brother when he had a feeling come to him that Shelly was in the pool. Later, he mentioned this to his mother as well.
And he said that after all this happened, he was like, something told me go check the pool. So he went out to the pool, and that's when he found her at the bottom.
Melissa believes that something that spoke to Adonai's mind and heart was God. And because of the feeling that Adonai had, he was able to find his sister within minutes. If she'd gone any longer, it's very unlikely she would have been okay. Even now, it's a miracle that she's doing so well. While you might think Shelly would have a lot of anxiety after experiencing something so traumatic, Melissa says it's been the opposite. Shelly has returned from this experience absolutely fearless and just loves life.
She's the daredevil. I think she's like, I done seen it all. I've done died and I came back and I'm gonna live my life. I literally think that's what she thinks in her head. Like, I done died, I came back, and I'm gonna live my best life.
Today, Shelly is a vibrant 5-year-old, full of energy and laughter, swimming like a little fish and embracing every opportunity that comes her way. Melissa often looks back on the day she drowned and shakes her head in disbelief, grateful for the miracle that is her daughter.
God has a purpose for her to be here. He has something for her life. Like, she's here for a reason, and he knows what that reason is.
In the end, Melissa and her family have learned that life is unpredictable, but with God's grace, even the darkest moments can be turned for our good. This experience has bonded their family and helped them all to want to be more like Shelly, embracing and enjoying every moment of life God gives them.
So when Blake and I first listened to this one, Emily, you had sent it to us. We listened to it in the car. We were driving to dinner. And afterwards, neither one of us could even speak. We both had tears running down our faces.
I know.
And we were just silent.
It's a really emotional one. Especially for me, the most traumatic part was hearing the actual videos, the video footage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Super traumatic.
Yeah, it felt like my heart was being ripped out.
Gut-wrenching.
But what an amazing miracle this family experience. It's just incredible that this little 12-year-old Adonai had a feeling just come to him and let him know that his sister was in the pool and that she needed to be rescued.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Listening to his video was just, my heart went out to him because this experience was truly traumatic for him. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Melissa told us that. She said that this has affected him more than Shelly even.
Yeah.
But he's such a hero, and I hope he knows how amazing he is.
Yes, for sure.
And we actually got to meet Shelly, which was so cool. She's such a doll.
She is adorable.
She is. And Emily, I'm sure you would agree with me when I say she is a spitfire.
She kept poking her head up out of the corner when we were interviewing her mom.
Yes,
and we're
she
like,
was so funny.
Come over here. We want to meet you. She was so cute. But I'm just so glad that everything turned out okay for her. And I mean, it really is a miracle. As we were doing some research for this story, I read that children can drown in less than 20 seconds in water.
Oh, my gosh.
And brain damage can occur in as little as 4 minutes. I mean, the fact that she came out of this unscathed, it's pretty miraculous.
Oh, that is so fast. That's so scary to think about.
I mean, it's like one of my biggest fears. I'm sure all parents can relate to that fear.
Yeah.
And accidents like this, they can happen in an instant.
It made me think about like my grandkids. You know, my oldest grandkid is only 3 years old. So when they come over, we are going to be thinking a lot more about water safety.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think stories like this also give me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Because even though, you know, their family went through this traumatic experience, I feel like God healed Shelly, not just her body, but he also healed her mind and healed her from the anxiety and fear that she could go through.
Yeah, I agree.
It's incredible.
It is. And it helps me personally just to know that God truly does heal those things. He has the power to heal our anxiety, our fear, the trauma that we go through. He can heal us and comfort us through whatever it is we're going through.
He is so good and so amazing, and he can do anything. So.
Yes.
Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us today, and make sure that you subscribe to our podcast wherever you get podcasts so that you never miss an episode.
And thank you again for all of your likes, follows, and shares. We appreciate you helping us to spread these incredible stories that definitely deserve to be heard. Thank you for joining us. If you have a miracle to share, contact us at themiraclefiles.com or find us on Facebook.
We're now releasing multiple episodes each month, so subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube for amazing video content as well.
Join us next time as we discover more of God's miracles. And don't forget to look for His light in your own lives.